Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. We have an absolute banger of a show today. We've got lots to talk about. We have an incredible guest on that I am beyond excited to talk to. Hopefully you guys are just excited. Steve and Chad, how are you doing, my man?
Shelton Walker, my goodness, it has been too long. I've missed you.
It feels like it's been a week.
just about, give or take.
It's been. Hey, real quick before we hop into this interview, we had a little thing this past weekend. Do you remember that thing that we did?
Well, vaguely. So I remember I showed up at this beautiful golf course on a beautiful day.
Sure.
And I had to rent clubs.
Sure.
I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get golf tees. I was luckily enough to get golf balls, but I played golf. That's what I remember. We
played golf in a scramble tournament. Last year I was defending champ, and this year I came in and got the W. Steve also brought home a trophy. I just want you guys to know, Steve brought home a trophy as well. The trophy didn't have a little guy on it, nor did it have a number 1, but it did have a toilet. It did. It did. Just so you guys know, anyone who plays golf out there, to let you know how bad he was. Look, I'm not here to rag on Steven, but I am.
Yes, you are.
Steven, his scramble team shot an 84. If you play golf,
amazing.
You know how horrendous that is, okay? An 84. An 84. That's all I'm going to say. My team shot 57. We're going to get called cheaters. It's whatever. We balled out. We had some ringers. I had guys from the Corn Ferry Tour. I've heard it all.
It's part of the course after what you did with the fantasy football league.
Here we go. Here we go.
Again, here we go. It's par for the course. Yes, it's a funny play on words. But it's the same thing you did with the fantasy football league. It's completely rigged.
Aaron Connors, let's go Gators. Gator Nation alive in Buffalo, New York. Stay warm, my man. Welcome to the show. Tyler Elliott, yo! What's up, my man? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to introduce this next guest. This man is fresh. This man is used. His name is Dave Freshly Used. Give it up for the man.
What's going on?
Freshly used. You're not even used from like a couple of weeks ago. Like, this is freshly used Dave.
Hey, exactly. did you get that name off of Facebook Marketplace? You know when you had to select the item of the condition? It says freshly used. Dave's like, that's it. I like that. It's got a ring to it.
I don't even know how much research you guys did into my background, but fun fact, my name is not Dave. First off.
Oh, no. I thought it was Dave. Oh no. All right, well, you got to tell us. Now we're here.
So the Dave, the story goes, it's a dumb nickname. My handwriting was so bad in high school that my teacher got Dave Ritter out of Joshua Rittenauer. So Dave stuck with me for the next 3 years. As for the freshly used, that came to me in a dream, I swear.
I love that. That's sometimes you have one of those things that hit you and it's just good. Speaking of dreams, I'm having a kid in November. Dave.
Oh, congrats.
Why are you trying to upstand this, man?
I had a dream. I had a dream the other night that it was a boy. And it was the first dream that I had. So look, dreams are powerful. Dreams are big.
You're practically Martin Luther. My God.
So what
Dave,
you're saying
you have the stage
here. Dave now.
I'm gonna name it Dave. Middle name Fresh.
He's a name of Freshly. Yeah, Freshly Tiger.
Exactly. Oh no, I just really like Dave. I kept it for everything. It's like a good blue collar name. Like Josh's Freshly Used just doesn't roll off the tongue the same.
Listen, my name's Shelton, so I could totally agree with him. It doesn't roll off the tongue. I hear you on that one, Bubba. Look, I love it. I love where that comes from. So just so who doesn't know who Dave is or Josh or Freshly Used, whatever you want to call him, this is the man that has been producing the vintage clothes to the Florida Gators. So all the awesome photos that we've been seeing, we talked about him 2 weeks ago, about all the incredible gear. This is him. This is the guy. He has an entire store. His link is in the description. He's selling this gear, which is absolutely just incredible and awesome. And so we're going to get to know him a little bit, what he has, how he got into this, and all that good stuff. So we call you Dave or Josh? I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, where are we at with this?
Bro, so Holly was like, what's his name? I was like, obviously it's Dave. What do you mean what's his name?
I'm over here asking the qualifying questions. I was not getting straight answers. I just want to point that out.
Right.
Whenever I have complaints, I'm like, oh no, I'm Josh. You have to go talk to Dave.
I just work here. I just work here.
I just work here. That's above my pay grade.
All right. So Dave, I mean, this might be jumping a lot of questions, but this is the biggest one that just is weighing heavy on me. How the hell did you pull this off? Like, how did this come to be to where you created this relationship where they're like, yeah, this is a good idea? Like, did you sell them? Did they sell you? Like, talk to me.
Dude, honestly, shout out to just like the new staff being incredible. I mean, I've been doing this for years, like literally over 10 years now.
Wow.
And like I've always complained about it. Like, I'm gonna sit here and burn a bridge as I'm talking, but I'm always like, I can't even get the Florida Gators to like a single one of my posts. I've been doing this for 10 years. They've never even liked a single one of my posts. Like, I know they see me, like they just don't want to acknowledge me, whatever. So I don't know. Whenever this new staff came in, I was just like, okay, like I don't know. This seems like a good opportunity as any. They all seem like all these young, excited people. And then I saw like Katie and Bree. Everybody's talking about Katie and Bree. These two like, young, really ambitious girls that are like making all this stuff happen. Actually, so first it was like Katie that I saw. I kept seeing Katie. I'm like, all right, like this is the girl. I was like, let me just, I'll message her. And I've messaged coaches before and, just been like, hey, this is what I do. If you guys ever want to like make something happen, let me know. And, just get left on red per usual. But I pitched it to Katie. I was like, hey, like, I have all this stuff, like, no, not knocking on Jordan or anything, but like, whenever recruits come, like, there's all, the photos and jerseys are great, but beyond that, there isn't really a lot of like other apparel. I was like, I have all this cool vintage stuff. Like, these kids literally come to me, always wanting it. This is what's in right now. I was like, I think it would be really cool for photo shoots. And, didn't expect a lot. She messages back, immediately with like multiple pictures of Michael Jordan from the 90s and is like, yeah, like that would be awesome. Like, could we make something like this happen? Like, all these windbreaker suits. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, yeah, like, we have like 20, 30 guys coming. Like, do you have enough jackets for that? Like hats? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, yeah, cool. Like, can we get on a phone call? And I was like, okay, cool. So like, I mean, like, there was no like, oh, let me get with my boss, oh, I don't know, like, let me think about it. She just like got it immediately, saw the vision, and just like ran with it. And it was awesome. And we just kind of made it happen from there.
I have goosebumps. Like that.
That is amazing. Just that concept is amazing. That she clearly, like, Billy's in there. He's doing his own thing. He's got a million things going on and trying to rebuild some of the structure, some of the culture, and he's got somebody there that he trusts enough to where you reach out to her. She doesn't bat an eye. Like, bring it.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
No, that's what it was. She was just like, I don't know, and that's kind of been like, from an outside point of view, I've always just seen coaches as like, all these old people like running it. And that's kind of been the biggest thing is like, the old, not hating on older people, but like a lot of times the older people don't necessarily like
Steve.
Get vintage. Sorry. But like she just got it. Like she saw it. She knew exactly what it was. Like she's into vintage and she was like, yeah, like this would be amazing. Let's make it happen. And I was like, let's do it.
So first of all, I love that you've been at it for 10 years. I love that you consistently kept hitting them up, and I love how you just kept taking your shot. I think that is absolutely incredible. It's cool to hear somebody who's been at it grinding and it paid off. You hit the mother load, and the fact that you pitched the idea too, and I mean she took it and obviously went with it some more. But for you to go at her with hey, here's my idea, here's what I think would work. And to see what it's become, and that was what I kind of commented on the clip that you saw, where like, look, you were kind of throwing some shade because other schools are now picking that up. They're taking that on, and I don't think you realize like what you did is that cool.
And I've had a lot of people, the other Twitter fan groups coming at me and being like, oh, vintage has been around for whatever. I didn't claim to invent vintage, like vintage has been around forever. I love vintage as much as the next guy, but I will pat myself on the back. And as far as the idea of like getting recruits to wear the stuff for photo shoots and whatever, like that was my idea. UF took it, and UF was the first school to do it, and it's
Which
really cool to
you
it's
should take that. You should take that and wear it as a badge of honor, because
yeah,
it's only been within the last 5 to 10 years where they started putting you in all these different like mock up different uniforms with different helmets and like the visors, and like you did a whole photo shoot for you to
yeah,
finally penetrate the concept of like, hold on, we've been a brand for 70 years, 30 years, like whatever, like the muscle gator. I've even said this to the cast and to Shelton, like the muscle gator is just, he's so cool, right? So to bring that back and to finally get somebody who can just bring back some of the initial pride that came with the logos, and what some of the older folks, I mean, look, these kids have parents, and those parents saw those logos. So I think
yeah.
that's amazing what you're
Like
doing. You're bringing back the starter. You're bringing back the apex. You're bringing back that wavy like feel of things, man. That's amazing. Congratulations.
like no, thank you, man. Seriously, I think it's just so good because it kind of hits all the demographics. Like the older generation, they see it and they're like, "Oh my gosh,
Shit.
like that's the stuff that I grew up with."
I
Like
wore.
I wore that whenever I was a student. And then the younger kids, these recruits wearing it, they might not even necessarily understand what it is, like from a collector's standpoint, like what I know it is, but just as an aesthetically, like, whoa, this is awesome. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. And that's why they like it so much. And like, they want to do, like, like vintage is huge. Like I said, I didn't invent vintage, but vintage is in right now. Every celebrity's wearing it. And that's what these kids are wearing in their free time, anyways. So to have like the coolest vintage Gator stuff that they can for these photo shoots, like, I don't know. Schools are always trying to do the newest, coolest thing, but there's nothing wrong with taking a step back sometimes and appreciating stuff that's already been there and implementing it.
This is awesome. I love every bit of it. So the next question, and we talked precast a little bit. Everybody asks this. I know everyone's thinking it. Where now that I know you've been doing it for 10 years, I can see where you collected some of this stuff. Where the hell do you get all this stuff? Because the stuff that you have, it's like it ranges. Dude. Like you have some nasty crop tops. And look, my man Zeke wears crop tops and pulls it off like nobody's business. What I would give to pull off a crop top like that. Like I honestly, my left nut. Like I just the crop top look is classic. But where do you get all this cool vintage stuff?
Hey man, first off, male crop top season is all year round.
Is it back, baby?
Yeah, it's back, baby. But honestly, the short answer is everywhere. Like I tell everybody, finding it is the full-time job in itself. Like from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to bed, like I'm looking for this stuff. I have spent the last 10 years building relationships with people, like getting stuff off of people. Like I have packages coming from overseas, like
Wow.
several times a month. Like whenever they say the Gator Nation is everywhere, like the Gator Nation is everywhere. It's crazy where this stuff ends up. But like I'm fortunate that since I have become known as the vintage Gator guy, and like the vintage community in a whole is so big, a lot of these guys, as they find it, they just hit me up and I get it off of them. I get stuff off of old players, coaches, like the original, just diehard collectors whenever I can. The story I get more times than not is like, oh man, we just had a whole bag of this stuff that we, got rid of. And I'm like, "Ugh, like, don't tell me that." But, you know, that's my favorite is whenever I can go into somebody's house and they're just like, "Oh yeah, we just don't wear this stuff as much as we used to. Want to take a look?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
It's gotten to that point to where like you get like a line and you follow it all the way to somebody's house.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get the, "Hey, I'm a friend of a friend of a friend, like, they referred me to you," and, like I don't know. It's just you never know where it's going to come from. There isn't a vintage store. I always say like Ace Hardware. Whenever they run out of hammers, they just call up their supplier and get more hammers. Like whenever I need more vintage, it's not that simple. Like I've got to go hunting for it.
So is this your full-time gig now? You said it's your full-time job, like waking up. Is this, 10 years doing it, is it doing well where this is it?
Yeah, graduated from UF, got my economics degree to sell vintage Gator goodies.
That is awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Thank you.
So 10 years, you're can I say your age? You told me earlier.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. You're 27. So you started at 17?
No, probably no, earlier than that. I've honestly been like looking for stuff my whole life because my parents were, into finding stuff, collecting, and whenever
Okay.
my
It's in the blood.
brothers are yeah, it's in the blood. My brothers are 6 and 8 years older than me, and whenever they were in high school, they would go thrifting, and I would look for stuff with them, whatever. But then, like, as soon as I got my driver's license, whenever I turned 16, I was out and about, like, finding stuff myself. But yeah, I guess 16, 17 was like the official incorporation.
When Dave Freshly was born.
When Dave Freshly was born.
Dave, let me ask you this. So you're out there, you're searching for antiques. You're going after everything you can get. You have to come across different teams' antiques, I assume, in your search. So do you have like a communication network with some of these other teams to try to give them some of their things and say, I just hit a jackpot here? Like, how does that work with some of the other teams that are maybe doing the same thing as you?
So that's kind of how I got my start to begin with, is like whenever I first started going out, like I would find all this stuff that like I wasn't necessarily interested in, but like I would get it and I would sell it to my friends like out of the trunk of my car in the high school parking lot, basically just to like fund my own collection. But I don't know if you guys are gonna like this, but my best friend basically does the same exact thing as me, but Florida State. So we have this relationship going where I know.
No, Steve's a Florida State guy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, baby.
Hey,
I went green for you just so I didn't turn you off. But my gosh, a fight for FSU.
You got to go to Picton, Tallahassee. But he does everything vintage Florida State, and we basically have this relationship of when I find FSU stuff, I just send it to him. He finds Gator stuff, he sends it to me, and it's just like maybe one time I'll find something crazy and he gets the better end of it. One time he finds something crazy and I get the better end of it. Like that's what we have is really the like in a perfect world relationship, because
sounds like it.
It just it works out. All the other teams and stuff that I come across, I basically just kind of like sell myself, whatever. But like as far as FSU and Gator stuff, yeah, we have this cool little like network where we just like send it each other's way.
That's awesome.
But he actually has, I'll give him the plug real quick. He has a brick and mortar store in Tallahassee. Check it out. They don't just sell FSU stuff. They have all general vintage, streetwear, sneakers, everything. He's the homie.
Do you have a store or are you just online?
I do not have a physical store right now. I have my website online and I do pop-ups in Gainesville throughout the year.
That's probably enough. Look, if you're gonna do a pop-up in Gainesville, we're gonna make a trip sometime, probably a couple of times. We're gonna have to come see you. We're gonna have to figure something out. We could share a tent.
Yeah, man. I mean, football season, I'll be there every home game.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? You're gonna make a killing, especially with this. What happened this year with the recruiting is just gonna put you even more on the map.
No, I mean that's what I don't know. It's good in a way that it happened like in the downtime, so it can kind of like prepare me for that. But yeah, I mean, everybody's been like, "Hey, where's your store at? Where's your store at?" And I'm like, I don't have one, but I'm like,
I think the store. Yeah, the store, because people want to feel it, hold it, touch it, right? Because it is old. I think there's that like, well, I got to see how this is going to fit me. Like, I haven't worn it, you know what I mean? Like, how is that big starter jack? How's that crop top going to look on your boy? You know what I'm saying?
I tell, like, everybody, whenever I put stuff on the website, like, it may be tagged, like, an XL, but it could fit a medium. And so all my stuff that I put on the website is like the fits like size and the actual
Oh, that's
measurements.
cool.
So I'll have people message me as soon as they get it, and they're like, "Hey, I ordered a medium, but like this says XL," and I'm like, "Just try it on; it'll fit you." And they're
Trust.
like, "Oh yeah, we're good."
Brian said, "What's the link?" It's in the description right now, guys, for Days Freshly Used. Let me go to the comments really quick. Ricky says, thought Steve was about to say groovy when you were describing the vintage stuff. Brian
Totally
Carter.
rad.
It was stuff.
Brian Carter said 10 years is amazing, dude. Congrats. That's a long time. Love that you're 27 and following your dreams.
Thank you, guys.
Muddy has a cool idea for recruiting to hook up with Gatorade and to do a possible commercial with the Gatorade and the new recruits, which I think is a brilliant idea.
There's a lot of great vintage Gatorade stuff too, so that could even, that could be cool.
Yeah, that you're also saying if you shaved your beard, you look like McLovin. They're fanboying over here. So the other thing I wanted to ask too, so you're on your site, you've got some cool product, you have a great picture of, and you kind of told us a little bit about this, and we've paused you because it was a really cool story.
Yeah.
You've got a cool old like briefcase looking thing,
Yeah.
right? What I didn't even know what the hell that was that even made those things, and then you described why they had it, and I was like, makes sense.
Yeah, so that briefcase is like an actual student's trunk from the suitcase from the 1940s, and that's what they would have brought with them whenever they, came from home over summer to UF with essentially everything they needed. And then the trunk that it's on was the other thing that all these kids would bring, because transportation was just so much harder back then. So they would have to stuff all their belongings in a trunk and a suitcase, and that was basically all they could bring with them from home. They would load it on a train, it would get to ship to UF, and at Thomas Hall, they still have the original cutout in the wall where it says like trunk pickup or trunk drop off, and that's where everybody's big trunks would be shipped to, and they'd pick it up. But the story I was starting to tell you of the briefcase, this is going to make me sound bad, but like, hear me out. But this lady hit me up before, and she's like, "Hey, like, I'm a reporter. This suitcase is really cool. Like, I'd love to help you find the original owner, because that's, like, this is what I do for a living." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, absolutely." And she was able to do it in like 10 minutes. She's like, "Oh, like, hey, I found this guy. It looks like he's still alive." She's like, "Would you want to when do you want to give it back to him?" And I was like, that wasn't really, I was like, I didn't know that's where this was going. I wasn't really trying to do that. And she was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, I'm not,
What?
my thing is like, this sounds really selfish of me. I know everybody wants the feel good story of like finding things back to their original owners, but most of the time, A, there was a reason why they got rid of this stuff. B, I like to think that like I'm a free public museum. Like all this stuff, even if you're not buying it off of me, I like to be able to share it with everybody and spread it and like allow everybody to get to enjoy it instead of just like one person. I don't know. That's how I justify it.
Look, you don't have to tell us. I'm glad you have it.
I think we're on your side here on the fact that well done. But like,
that is pretty cool that she found the guy though. that part's cool.
No. I mean, that's a big part about what I do. Like, I love the historical aspect of this stuff, and I love to be able to tell the story of it. Like, it's really cool to just, instead of being able to be like, "Oh yeah, this was a suitcase somebody had," I can be like, "Oh yeah, this was actually this guy's suitcase. He came here in 1947. Da 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 da."
That's really cool.
And this is why. And this is how the process worked back then. Because for most of us, it's like, we'll hop in an Uber. No, this is how everything worked back then. I like where your head's at, Dave.
Yeah.
You're on point.
It's Josh to you.
Thank you, man.
Well,
yeah, friends call me Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
So the last the Florida or Orange and Blue game, I saw you basically did a little fundraiser with the Townsend brothers. Looked like Spurrier was there. You met Shane Matthews. What was that? What was the foundation? What did you raise? Talk to me.
I mean, truthfully, I didn't do a whole lot for that. I was able to donate a original 1996 championship shirt to Johnny Townsend's foundation, and they auctioned that off in his auction that they did. And so I was able to contribute a little bit. I was happy about that, but I wasn't Traeger grill level where they're giving like $1,500 grills to them. But all the money goes to the pediatric center at Shands. He does a lot of really good stuff with that. It's a great organization. The event itself was super cool though. Like I've interacted with the Townsend brothers like online, and a lot of these people, James Batesy, he was there. Like he's another really cool guy that I've interacted with online, but I've never got to meet them in person. So it was really cool to get to put a face to a name. Shane Matthews was really funny because I'm talking to Batesy. Well, I'm talking to Batesy, and he's right there. And James like introduced him real quick, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was it?" And he was like, "Shane Matthews." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I'm sorry, man."
Was he a dick about it, or was he cool?
No, he was just kind of. I almost he was cool about it, like.
Okay.
But in my head, I'm just like,
dick.
He's going. This kid doesn't know who the frick I am.
Bro, it was the '90s, bro, and you're like, like what was supposed to? Bro, you don't look like you did in '90. Okay, all right, Shane, you've aged a bit, bud.
None of these people look the same, but my other really cool experience at that was Kyle Trask walked in.
I saw you had a pic with Trask.
Yeah, I got to fanboy out with him for a minute, but I was low-key was like, I got kind of embarrassed. I went up and I was just like, "Hey man, like, do you have a second? I'd love to talk to you." And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Hey, like, I explained like, oh, if you've seen all the recruit stuff, I'm the guy doing that." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like I went to one of your pop-ups like 4 years ago." And I was like, "What?" Or no, he's like, "Oh yeah, we've met before." And I was like, "No, I don't think so." He was like, "Yeah, I went to one of your pop-ups like 4 years ago." And I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I don't remember that." But I mean, like, no offense.
That's cool. He remembered you.
I know. I mean, I was like,
holy
honored,
crap!
but, like,
you got out fanboyed by like the quarterback of Florida.
I know.
What the hell are you talking about, Dave?
I mean, I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, like this was probably before he was a starter, so like I had no idea who he was probably at the time. Kyle Trask was coming through my booth, and I just thought he was like some tall frat guy. But like
that 100% is what happened. 100%.
I know.
That's pretty cool though. Funny. That is too cool.
That was super cool. He was like, "Oh yeah, like you do the vintage stuff." I was like, "Yeah."
Real quick.
That's awesome though. The quarterback of Florida remembered you over. You remember the quarterback of Florida.
I know. I was like
selling all the stuff for Florida. You're like, oh yeah, I just want to be in the mix here. And now you are.
I know. Like no, it was just a really cool event that I got to go to. I was by far did not do as much as a lot of these guys did, but I was very happy to be a part of it.
That's too cool. So you brought some stuff for us, right, Dave? That you wanted to show kind of your favorite things and kind of tell us some cool vintage stuff that we wanted to see. What you got? What you got?
Excuse me. Well, this one's gonna probably upset a lot of people, but I figured I'd go new. Everybody thinks I only do old. I always say if it's new, if it's cool enough, I like it. But the fan favorite. Swamp green cleats. These are like an actual team issued pair. I personally love the swamp green stuff.
Oh, because the scales on them.
Yeah. People aren't a big fan. They were not. I perversely, I'm not a fan, but those shoes are sweet though.
I know. I figured I'd start it off controversial. Like I'm a huge fan of the swamp green stuff. I want a whole complete set of it. We'll go a little bit older. So this is one of my favorite things that I've gotten most recently, but it's this 1977 football with this cool like painted graphic on it, and then it's got like the whole team's like signatures throughout it. Yeah, like I've seen a lot of there's like replica footballs from like the 90s that you see with Spurrier and all of his people on there, but they're
77,
always
77
yeah,
was a Spurrier Heisman year, correct?
no, 66.
66.
Um
Okay.
yeah, so
Dave
like you
dropping
see
knowledge.
no,
I love it. I love it.
hey, he's an FSU guy, or I can forgive him.
I'm close. I'm close.
He was
I'm
born the
only-
year that he
only a
should have remembered.
decade off.
But yeah, this was just something super random. I went to this guy's house and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have this. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Absolutely." Like I love anything with painted graphics, and I always tell people like I'm usually not super into signatures, but I mean it's really cool. It's got like the whole team on here. That was one of my like favorite, most recent things I've got, and I'm another very big proponent of the unspoken histories of UF that we try and forget about. The 1980s is a very big lost decade that we do not like to acknowledge. But this is one of my favorite shirts. If you can make it out, it's how do we line it up here?
we
It's
took
a
it on
gate.
the field.
Okay, so it's a
We
the
won on the
gator
field.
like it's a gator like on a guillotine rack, and all these other dudes behind them, they all have like the other team names on them, and it says like SEC commissioners and whatnot. But it says, "We won it on the field. Put us on the rack. We won't give the title back." So it's from 1984 in the
Charlie
1985 SEC
Charlie Pell.
championship. Yeah, the Charlie Pell
Yeah.
era, the
Yeah.
ones that we won, and then because of all the NCAA violations, they took it back. But the shirt's like we still beat these guys. Like it doesn't matter what happened off the field. Like we proved it. So I love this stuff. We try and forget about the 80s because of like it wasn't a
Winning.
fun time.
Yeah.
But
So Dave, I think I mentioned this to you off cast, but I have a shirt, and my mother went to UVA, right? So she wasn't a huge Gator fan, but she grew up in Florida. But there was this shirt that she had, and she would wear it every Florida Georgia game. There was always a Florida Georgia party in my house.
Be careful.
when that
Dave's going to
game
ask
came
for that
apart.
shirt.
Hold on.
you got a picture?
I'm telling you, it was the muscle gator pulling a wheelchair, and it was coming out of a cemetery, and it was a Seminole. It was and they all
Bulldog.
had like
Yeah.
bulldog. It was a tiger. It was
Probably an elephant.
An elephant. Like it's just this picture was like them. They slayed everything, and he's just walking out of that thing. And I mean, it's the same exact color orange is that shirt that you just showed me. And I haven't seen that color orange on a t-shirt in a long time, but I've seen that t-shirt so many times that I know it exists. And I'll see what I can do.
I know which one you're talking about exactly.
Let's go.
See you later. It's it's one of my favorite shirts. Yeah, he's like wheeling out all the.
Shoot me a pic on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'll send you guys a picture. It's one of my favorite shirts. It's like
I know exactly what that shirt is.
Steve's gonna have to buy it. Steve's gonna have to buy it in honor.
I already have it.
No, you're gonna have to buy this one in honor of your mom.
So this one is just.
There we go. Cool. There we go. That's the shit.
This is just the epitome of like 90s craziness. Just no wasted. Actually, this might be like a late 80s, but no wasted space. I always say good print to shirt ratio, but like, like an art, like this was a shirt only made for UF. Like an artist had to go in and make this. Like everything now is just cookie cutter, just replacing the team's
It's so
name.
sad.
Like one logo right in the middle, and then you move on. It's nothing.
That's it. And that's why I love all this stuff, because it's like real, like an artist made this.
It's art. It's a piece of memorabilia. It's art. It's creative. I love it. That is so cool.
I tell everybody I consider my stuff like wearable artwork. I love it. So this is really, really cool. You're probably familiar with this past season, the iconic Spurrier polo with the blue scales going across it.
I was just going to bring that up because they had the scales. It was the with the polo. He always looked so sharp. He'd throw that visor on. You hated to see him. You hated to see him.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but I actually supplied those original polos and the visor to Steve Spurrier and Eli Manning for Eli Manning's TV show on ESPN Plus whenever he had Spurrier on there, and they're like wearing it. I'll send you the clip.
This guy's going on. This guy's got it going on.
But so that polo, this is the original one from the guy who created the polo that Nike gave to him. Like this was his sample that they gave to him.
Was that like 93, 94? What year was that?
What is going on?
Yeah, this one was from 1994, I believe. It was whenever the 100th anniversary of the college football was, I think.
Man, this is when I was watching college football. Yeah, I couldn't miss a Florida game. I couldn't miss an FSU game. I couldn't miss a Georgia game. That the scales, and then Bowden had
the spear stuff,
gold with the spear underneath.
Yeah,
I mean, and so when Florida State played, it was always that crazy iconic blue versus garnet, and then the gold versus the white, or whichever home field we were playing at. If it was like your stadium, it was the orange and the blue, and we were white and we were gold. But then they would wear that FSU with the spear underneath it, and you guys wore the scales. And man, that is 1990s. Amazing.
Steve is losing his mind right now. He's freaking out.
This is what I know. This is how I grew into college football.
Football, the game itself was just a sidebar. It was really just a fashion show. Like Spurrier and Bowden were coming out and just showing off
Steve, it was
for Nike. But yeah, this is. I mean, this popped up, and I was like, I'm about to drop a dumb amount of money to get this polo. But and I hit up the guy actually whenever the retro one came out, and I was like, hey man, like, how do you feel about this? Because it's not like Nike, like the company that did it, I was like, Nike doesn't own them or anything. Like, that's kind of weird that they just like ripped it off. And he's like, I mean, I don't own the design or anything. He's like, so honestly, like, it's kind of flattering that like people still like my design, 30 years later, that much that they're bringing it back out. And I was like, yeah. That's true. That's really cool. Yeah, so I mean, awesome. Props to him. The guy was a visionary. Staying on the Spurrier trend, this is, hang on, it's my camera. 1989 Steve Spurrier Duke football camp.
Duke football camp.
Yeah, so this, I'm assuming it would have been like for the players. I don't think it was like a kids camp, but yeah, I mean, this is like literally one of my favorite things ever. I've been trying to get with Spurrier's to let me add a couple things to the museum, but they won't return my phone calls.
Keep knocking on that door, Dave. They'll answer.
I know. I'm waiting.
It worked out well the first time. Like just
persistence. Back to the 80s. So I gotta read everything here. Standing tall.
Galen Hall.
Yeah, standing tall with Galen Hall.
I love that Gator.
Galen Hall, and this is what I mean about like everybody, likes to forget about the 80s, but I mean Galen Hall really did set up kind of like the teams for like Spurrier's success, and like he kind of talks about that a lot. Like, I mean, Galen Hall did a lot of great things for the Gators, and I actually have a matching pillow with this same graphic on it, but I couldn't find it to pull it out.
That's too cool.
This is just another cool Spurrier shirt. For as big of a deal as Spurrier,
the cartoons.
I know. This is the only T-shirt, I believe, with an actual Spurrier graphic like of him on it from the 90s, like as big as he was, like an actual licensed T-shirt, which is crazy to me. I mean, the dude, like,
he's an icon. Was
an icon. And it's like,
dude, that visor,
T-shirt.
bro. Oh my god.
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's
the one, boys. That's the one. Well, Dave.
So that.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
No, I was just gonna say that visor is like the one in the Happy Birthday video that they did with all the coaches. Like they're all wearing. I lent that to them. Okay, I swear. Last item, because You probably want to kick me off by now. This is, I think you guys will really enjoy.
Is that a jockstrap? Oh my God.
1992 Sugar Bowl.
Dave's not holding any punches, ladies.
But wait,
there's more.
I have the 1995 Sugar Bowl jockstrap.
Dude, I mean, you sealed it. You have it from A to B, from A to Z.
Like, whenever I say I like anything that says Gators on it, I like anything that says Gators on it.
There's no line. There's no line.
Commitment's commitment.
I will. That is like the first thing that's going on my wall whenever I get a star, just front and center.
Yes, frame that bad boy.
Yeah.
Dude, Dave, you have been an incredible guest. I can't thank you enough for coming on here. You have some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. Your story is absolutely incredible. I hope that you have even greater success, that you open your stores. I will definitely reach out. We'll do something with the pop-up store. We'll figure something out. I mean, we'll come ride your coattails and hang out because you're gonna be the cool kid in town. And I want to come hang out with you, Dave. Okay?
No, please do. We'll do a live podcast.
Yeah. Look, that's the plan. Do a little questionnaire. We'll figure it out. We'll have it. We'll sell some Dave's freshly used merch, and we'll have a grand old time. Go Gators, dude. Thank you again, man. Your stuff's awesome, guys. If you need some vintage gear, check the link below. Go get some Dave's freshly used stuff. Jock straps and all.
Jockstrap's not for sale, but if I get an extra, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. That's no.
Have a great night, Dave.
Dave.
Thank you, guys. See you later,
Bubba. Dude, the guy was incredible. Real quick, Steve, I want to give you a shout out because you got some love right now. Hey guys, thank you for coming in. Thanks for watching us and talk to Dave for a little bit. Really quick, who said it? Hold on. Ultra Gator says, I don't think Holly gets enough credit for being a Knowles fan and sitting through all the Gators talk. I wouldn't be able to listen to that much FSU talk. So there's some love for you. And then Brian said, Holly is top 3 of my favorite FSU fans and my buds that like FSU.
We're here to talk about football. I mean, we all love it. We all get it. Like FSU is not going through the most exciting transition right now. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Trust me, I'd bring more stuff up if it was a little bit more like
hot for them.
But right now, man, like for you guys, Billy, what he's done in the portal, just all the different things that he's done with the culture. There's no reason for us to not put the emphasis on Florida. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm going to drag you back onto the FSU side eventually when we actually have something exciting to talk about. We don't right now.
Brian's been cheesing out the whole time. He says he's been rolling about the gear and cheesing out and fanboying like me over here. Daniel's back at it again, just pissing the fans off. Just he doesn't even listen to us anymore. He just comes in and stirs the shit up and starts his own sidebar conversation. So I don't even know where we're at with that.
I think he walked in with Daniel's back again with with the white Vans or something. I think that was his intro.
Wave says, "What's up, boys? Sorry, I haven't watched live in a while. No worries. Welcome, man. Welcome, WFL. What's up? Welcome back, Bubba. The Gemini method. I hated the style of cup holders, man. Shit was uncomfortable. I hear you on that one.
I would have left those out. I've been like,
the Gemini method also says real ass college football fan respect. Andrew Apple, go Gators. What's up? What's up, Apple? I don't think I'm saying that right. He sounded it out last time in the comments. I'm not gonna get it right. I don't think. Unless I hear him say it himself.
And Audra Wine, what's up? Girl?
What's up, Mama? She said in one of the comments. She said I probably was at one of those games. She probably was pregnant with me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the show. Dude, Dave was an awesome character, bro. I can't wait to have more conversations with that guy and meet up with him. And we're just going to go crash his tent. If he's going to have a pop-up store, we've already got a tent. We've got a place, Steve. Yeah. So first thing first, 5-star recruits, okay? We've got two big guys, two big things that we're looking at here with Tony Mitchell and Cormani McClain. Tony Mitchell tweeted out this past week. He's already been to Florida, took some great photos in the vintage gear. And he tweeted again, and Billy also retweeted this, tweeted himself, feeling like I need to come back home. And then Billy said, feeling like you need to come back home. Tweeted back at him. So I'm loving that. And he tweeted himself, obviously, in the gear. We reached out to Tony, hoping to see him get on. He said yes, and I haven't heard from him since. Maybe he kind of got into some, hey, don't go on there. I know it's a fine line. I'm sure these guys have a hard time of where they can go speak to, but love to have him on.
Popular guy.
Maybe he might be a little busy.
Too popular for us.
He is the number 3 cornerback in the nation, so that's part of it. And then Cormani McClain. So what was funny is this popped up. A Bama's SEC Country, which is a verified account, tweeted on their story because we have now been the new prediction for McClain to land here in Florida, like a crystal ball prediction, which is obviously way too early, but we're here to get excited about it. And the Bama SEC Country put this on their page saying, attention Alabama fans, please go comment Z Money and tell him to retweet. We can't let Florida take him from us. So Bama is working from all kinds of angles, but to land those 2 guys would be absolutely incredible. And if Dave has some play here, because I think they know, but him bringing that to Florida was huge. Like it started a wave, right? I mean, to be the first in a trend-setting moment is huge, especially where we're at with recruiting, with the NIL situation. We talked about this multiple times. It takes something like this to separate yourself. I don't know if I wanted to ask more, and I forgot to, but I'm hoping Dave is getting some good compensation from this and hopefully can continue to work this relationship, because I don't think they realize what he did for them by bringing this to them, and the gear that he has is absolutely incredible.
I mean, he's been spending, going on a decade, like just focused on this. Like the kid like turned into a thing where that's all he cared about. I mean, he's an antique guy, right? Like we all see these antique divers, and they're going after different things, and they like this stuff. And he went after one thing, and he went after it hard. And the fact that he started to develop relationships with other schools, even FSU. Like, if I find something, you let me know. If you find something, you let me know. So the fact that he's been able to not only take an idea, but then develop it into relationships. That's impressive for that kid. I mean, I'm super proud of him.
Absolutely incredible. So look, we're gonna keep an eye on those two recruits. It would be great to land those 2 5-star recruits for 2023. I think it would get the ball rolling very quickly. Look, we're going to get into the portal talk here in just a minute, because, look, I've been praising Billy a lot. I think where we're lacking a little bit right now, currently where we stand, we've been lacking on the portal. I'm going to get into that. But I think he's doing great with recruiting thus far, and I think if we can get these 2 guys kind of on an early commit, it's going to be huge to setting off that train, to getting that ball rolling. So we will see. Dave Freshly Used, commenting towards the jock strap, says, Dude claims the jock straps were unworn but haven't smelled the verified. Perfect. Thank you, Dave. Okay, Andrew Apple. Let's get this right, Steve. Help me out here. It says, like Planet of the Apes with an LS. Aples? Is it Aples? Is that it? Is it Aples?
Ape eyes?
No. That's an L, right? Or is it I?
No. It's capitalized. It's an I. The ape eyes.
Oh. Ape eye?
Ape eyes? I still don't know what it is.
All right, hopefully Andrew, he'll tell us yes or no. Yeah, we need verification. All right, so let's move on, Steve. Moving on to Hurricanes making magic. So the Miami Hurricanes, which, God, we love to hate them. You know what I mean?
You're making my life difficult. Look, Florida's already got a ton of momentum. You could say that Norvell.
He said yes. Which one, Andrew?
Yeah, be more specific. But then you have Cristobal coming in, and Cristobal, in his history at Miami, it's strong. It's strong, and it's got momentum right now. I mean, if we want to go back and we want to look at this, Cristobal was born in Miami. He played at Miami up until 92. He went to the CFL. He was a graduate assistant up until 2000. He was the offensive line coach and the tight ends coach back and forth between 04 and 06. I don't know if anybody realizes how good the tight ends were in Miami, but I mean, you have Shockey and Olsen coming out of there. And then from the offensive line, you have Bryant McKinney. I mean, they have the highest one team first round draft pick ever. No one's ever broken it. I want to say it's like 7, 8, maybe even double digits. But so he was an offensive coordinator and a tight end coordinator there. He went to Oregon for a minute. He took over the job when, if we could never talk about it again, when Willie came to Florida State, he took over the head coaching job at Oregon. But now he's back in Miami, and my goodness, he's making relentless. He has put a fence from Fort Lauderdale to Dade to like the places where Dalvin Cook came from, Ed Reed came from, like just the places where they just harvest athletes. It's a little scary for the other Florida schools, especially like a UCF, an FSU right now, who's a little vulnerable, to see that they can't get kids out of South Florida. This is going to be interesting to see what Cristobal can do on the field, because so far off the field, he's doing all the things that you never want to see Miami do.
This is going to be my first kind of video where I kind of give Billy a little hard time here, right? We've been praising Billy, been doing a great job, giving him a good grade, but I think his grade's going to get knocked down a little bit because I feel like we're missing the ball on the transfer portal. And here's why. Miami has got 11 guys thus far. They've got 11 people to come from the transfer portal, including Daryl Jackson, who was a favorite from Maryland to come down to Florida, which we talked about with Connor. And we lost him. We lost him in Miami. And Florida has lost. We've lost plenty, okay. Which again, some of them I'm okay with leaving. We've lost 7 thus far, and we've only brought in 5. 3 of them are from Raging Cajuns, being Montreal Johnson, Osiris Torrance, and then I can't think of the other kid's name. But we got Jalen Kimbar and who was the other kid's name? I can't think of the other kid's name right now. But there's only been 5. Again, 3 being from his previous school. So do we really count those? Were they great transfers in Montreal and Osiris? Yes, I think they were. But can you really say they were him pulling them in? No, because they just played with the guy, right?
That was easy.
That was a huge uphand for both of those kids too, right? I got a video coming out this week about Montreal Johnson. He feels he was under recruited, so he's going from a smaller school to a big school. It's huge for him, right? So to me, this is where I feel like, look, Billy's losing the battle right now. We're losing the portal battle. And I think that to be good right now, especially where we're at, where this team is at, we need to go get these pieces so we can be good now. We don't have time. We have to be patient, but we need to be good now.
Cristobal has been one of the best recruiters in college football for a long, long time. When he was under Coker, I think he was under Coker. He was just a machine. It was just every year. It was just 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. And everybody always gives the head coach the credit. It's not the head coach. It's the position coach. It's the one who develops
that position.
The regional, not even the position, but the regional relationships. They have the relationships with the high school coaches. So you could have an offensive line coach, like a Cristobal. He doesn't have any relationships in North Carolina, but your wide receiver coach does. So they recruit North Carolina. Cristobal is a machine from recruiting. And if you go back and you look at like the 247 and the Rivals assistant coaches recruiting awards, Cristobal kills it. This is for Florida and Florida State, especially with Billy being new and Florida State being on the ropes, and UCF needing to get some players if they want to continue to think that they're even in the conversation. Cristobal is not going to make that any easier on any of us. And I don't want to say that Miami is going to be great because they've done so little with the talent that they've had, but Cristobal will definitely put the talent on the roster.
We've talked about Lincoln Riley on the show a lot, right? We've ragged him for leaving. We've called him a genius for leaving on the same hand. But as we go on and as the months and then eventually the year and we play next season, I think we're all gonna be looking like, damn, Lincoln made the right move, because it's getting thick down here in the Southeastern. Okay. And look, I know Oklahoma wasn't that close, but it's closer to, we're closer to here than out west, right? That Oklahoma kind of gets packed into this recruiting grounds a little bit more. And Mike, it's getting thick out there. So, and I keep saying this as Florida fans, and look, you have both sides of the ball here. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough and tough. Now, again, you play the games for a reason. That's going to have a big factor on it. But I'm a little nervous right now on how little we've made impact on the portal. These kids are kind of going quickly. We got 5-star wide receivers coming from Bama. They've already been committed. I'm like, there's all these guys coming in. I'm like, yay! And then they're gone. I'm like, whoa, okay, we're missing out, guys. Like, what are we doing here? So he's got to get it together on the portal side. I think he's doing a great job recruiting. I've said that. That's going to take a long time. We're looking 2 to 3 years on the road if the recruiting's well. Chris Ball's recruiting well too. Muddy even said it that they took Trevante Citizen from us, right? That to me, I remember we were talking about the big recruiting. I thought that was a shoo-in. He was Crystal Ball for Florida, like that was a guarantee. Like I remember being stoked because I think what was his name, Perkins. We kind of knew was not going to be coming to Florida, which he was still on the fence. But I was like, hey, we don't get Perkins, we get Trevante. Right? So we keep getting these exciting news. We're in the hunt. And then when it comes down to signing day, we're losing out on it. And that's where I'm starting to get a little frustrated.
Trust me, I've never heard of a guy named Travis Hunter that we may have lost out on. But like I think this is where we need to start to realize things, right? So now we have a crystal ball. We have just in the Southeast alone. Like let's just look in the area that saturates athletes into high school football that usually fills our rosters. We have Saban, we have Jimbo Fisher, what's his dumbass that came
Kelly?
Down from
Brian Kelly
to LSU. You have Dabo, who's a great recruiter. You've got Kirby Smart, who right now
is being considered the greatest coach.
Well, you didn't bring it up, but there was an article in Saturday Down South that said, well, he is right now. I mean,
right now he is.
Well, he's got the one game win. He's got the one
right
game
now
win.
He is.
But if you just look at the amount of talent that's in this area of the country, and the amount of recruiters that are just going to go savage, and now you start adding in the money. Whoa, this is going to be something interesting.
Gonna be fun.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, with Florida State, Miami, Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M, Georgia, South Carolina, Clemson, Tennessee's even been active, and I mean, like Tennessee's going to have to spend a couple of years digging themselves out. But my gosh, it's just
all these schools have great history with a great pockets, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. Before we get into that, though, we've got a lot of people in here tonight. We got about 36 people right now, so thank you guys. If you're brand new, we appreciate you stopping by. If you are brand new, smash the sub button, hit a little like, turn the notification bell on. We go live every Wednesday, 8:35. We love for you guys to shit talk. We got a new one. Easy J Dub Warrior. What's up, man? He goes, nah, Saban is the GOAT and needs to retire already. Look, he is the GOAT. We didn't say that. We're just saying right now, Kirby Smart is the guy. Right, as of today, right, all time, there's no one's ever going to pass Saban. The guy's got it in the bag. With how we're headed down the college route, it's not going to happen. You know what's funny? Feinbaum came out today, your boy. He's like, yeah, I was talking with some old Bama boys the other day, and he's talking about basically who's going to replace Saban. What's next for Saban? Because, look, he's probably not retiring soon, but it's sooner rather than later. So where do they follow? Where do they go after that?
Oof, that's a tough one because look, Georgia, they have their guy. Like Kirby is a Georgia guy. He played at Georgia.
He's got time. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
He ain't going anywhere. Like he's an alumni of
he did his job. He is set for a long time.
Gosh, who was the defensive coordinator that bounced around at everybody? Pruitt could have a shot.
Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's the guy.
It's just
Saban has a lot of tentacles out there. I mean, Billy's part of that tentacle. There's a ton of tentacles where they can kind of go and get that same type of energy and type of, hey, like you know what we want to do here and bring that back in.
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, I think Saban's just the best example of his success. And it could be Jimbo, honestly.
That's what Muddy just said. He said Jimbo could take the leap. I don't know. Have you heard Jimbo? He's got his house. I got my ranch here. I'm good, boys. I like it down here. We got a good thing going. I don't think he leaves. I don't think he
Texas
leaves.
A&M has so much money, it's ridiculous.
It's got that's dumb oil money, and like I've told you before, it's 12th man. It's just a fun football town. How could you not want to be there? Brian Carter says penis elf man. You got to bring that guy up. Well, we got that video stirred up some juice. People were. My goodness, I didn't realize the hate for Paul Finebaum. Like, it was posted to a few Facebook channels. People were going bananas on that thing. I could not. I just had to step back.
During the cast. I told you during the cast. I'm like, this guy is just a firebomb everywhere he goes, except for Alabama fans. But then he somehow even brings in Alabama fans to fight his own battle for the dumbest things that you'll ever hear ever said. It's ridiculous. But again, he's a Tennessee grad. He's a Tennessee grad.
Gemini says that Lane Kiffin taking the Bama job would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. There's no shot he would get it. What kind of Andrew? It's April. We were confirmed. You missed it. What kind of wiener pills will Kirby sell when he retires? Blue Chew. Chew and do it. I've been trying to get sponsored by Blue Chew for a while now, so hopefully they see this and we get chewed and do it. Blue Chew. Guys, call me. Tim Tebow. On the map, back on the board again. He tweeted out just 4 hours ago, today. He said, I'm excited to watch, and he tagged at Anthony Richardson. I think the expectations are really high for AR-15, maybe as high as anybody in the country. When you look at what he's capable of, some thoughts for the season. He said, Gators need the right pieces around him, which we've talked about. Some of the wide receivers, the young guys, kind of making a little bit of a tear, getting some good news. Like Frazier, who I was heavy on after the Orange and Blue game, had a good little article come out about him saying how well he's been doing. Saying Tebow, back to Tebow, he doesn't have to run over, jump over, or run through someone every play. Sometimes, honestly, just take what the defense gives you. That's going to be big for AR-15 this year, right? Not feeling like he has to do something every single play. With that pressure, right? With that comes a lot of responsibility, right? And with that responsibility comes great power. And he's probably saying that from past experience, right? He feels like, hey, I'm the big guy, right? I'm a beast. I'm here to show out. I'm here to play out. I have to make something happen, right? And I think where hopefully AR can figure that sooner rather than later of, look, be patient. Don't just feel like you have to roll out and be the guy every single time. Allow the players around you to do them. You also have a talented arm, right? Maximize the arm. The leg should almost be like, crap, we forgot this guy could run too. Not, we have to be prepared for him to run, right? And I think that's where Lamar, in a sense, has made somewhat of a career thus far because he has done a good job of being able to throw out of the pocket. And then when he takes off and runs, you go, son of a bitch, right? Patrick Mahomes, the same thing. When he takes off and runs, you're like, God, I forgot the guy can run too, right? Because he has such a good arm. That's what AR has to be able to do.
Kyler, same thing, yeah.
Who? Oh, Kyler.
Yeah.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet, but yes. And then he goes, it's not just about explosive ones, but also the consistent ones. And again, this is going to be another big one with somebody who's come in. He has all this pressure, all this hype, right? We've talked about possible Heisman potential, right? He might have to feel like, I've got to do a big play. I got to get an 80-yard bomb. I need to launch this. No, just check down. That's what Tom made his career off of. He doesn't have a lot of flash. It's just consistency, right? It's the check down. He just beats the crap out of you, and before you know, he has 400 yards, right? That's like the Phillip Rivers. He was flashy, but he wasn't consistent. So those tweets were subtle, and it seems very simple, but when you're 18 years old and you're in this limelight, it's not that simple. It's going to be a lot harder than I think we realize for AR to figure out. Hopefully, look, that's where Billy comes into play. That's where these coaches come into play. That hopefully they can get that dialed in, but it's going to be interesting.
Well, look, I mean, once Anthony Richardson realized that you can go 150 miles an hour, I think he may need to just have the mindset of just dial it down a minute, put a governor on that thing. But no, in all seriousness, look, the kid is as talented as they come. In whether he's going to sit back and learn how to be a quarterback and throw the ball with definition and throw the ball on balance and step into your throws and all those things, that's going to be what changes him from being a potential Cam Newton or, some of the high school or the college quarterbacks that you've seen that really just beat you by being better than you athletically. I think the guy has a sky as a limit I'm terrified of it as an FSU fan. Don't get me wrong, but if he can pull it off, I mean, if they can get him to settle and play within the system that they're giving him, and do it with a little bit of patience and not have that level of panic as soon as he doesn't see something that doesn't make sense for him, and then just immediately rely on his feet. If he can just, it won't be immediate, but if he can just do that, by the time he's a junior, I mean, this kid's going to be beating you with his arm, his leg, his mind, his audibles. Just, if you won't be able to beat the guy. I just don't foresee it. And look, we've talked about it back and forth here. Watched a lot of college football. Something to the point of like Vince Young, but Vince Young still didn't have the acumen, the football acumen that I can see in Anthony Richardson at such a young age. Again, it's all going to be how he develops under Billy. But if Billy can really get this guy to hit on all cylinders and really become a full quarterback and not just an athletic guy, be able to audible and change the field as he gets to the line, my goodness, we're going to see something incredible.
Look, I'm excited. My biggest fear in what Muddy just said is the injury prone. Because my golly, if that kid goes down, we're stuck with my boy Miller, who I was high on, and yeah.
I mean, look, we still have my dark horse.
You think he's coming back? Emery, where's he going? Where's Emery gonna land? Sheffy asked that question. Where's he going, big dog? The people want to know, Steve. Where's he going? I know you got the inside track.
I had the inside track because he was my dark horse. I'm going with something like a FIU.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick one of the schools that I picked for JT Daniels. He's either going to Mizzou, Oregon State.
He's a Southern kid, though, right?
Where did JT go? West Virginia?
West Virginia.
I almost said West Virginia. He's a Southern kid?
Maybe North Carolina? Because they don't have Howell anymore?
Ooh.
Hey, I just made this up on the fly. I'm
ASU, that was the other one. Arizona State. Emory Jones said that. Or Muddy Water said that. Okay, those are our picks. We'll see where that goes. I'm surprised he hasn't landed anywhere. Kind of surprised. Well, not really. The portal's weird. I feel like guys are floating around longer than they should be, but what do I know?
Again, we talked about it with the Mims kid from Georgia who committed to FSU.
Yeah.
Like, you have to enroll.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And then you have to move down there, and none of this happens for you, right? You're kind of on your own at that point. And then you actually have to walk into the class. You have to walk into the first class. Until all that happens, there's no signed agreement. There's no letter of intent. You could back out at any point. So
they said he just visited ASU. So that's what we're looking at. You hear me? Oh,
of course I heard.
They said he just visited ASU. He muted yourself. All right, guys, let's move it on. Big news happened this past week with the NIL situation with investing money. The Gator Guard was invented or created or brought upon us or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. The new name, image, and likeness initiative has officially launched, coined the Gator Guard. It's led up by a one-time University of Florida student by the name of Hugh Hathcock. I mean, what a name, first of all. He's a businessman, the owner of Velocity Automotive. He attended UF for one semester before dropping out of school to pursue a since blossom entrepreneur career. I would say so myself. Now, he's now started this new initiative, again, called the Gator Guard, which has recently raised $3 million. This is partnering up with the Gator Collective, which has raised $5 million. Now, the Gator Collective was more driven towards us, the fans, the people, right? Where they're reaching out saying, hey, invest so we can pay these kids so they can buy Gucci belts and Jordans and all that good stuff, right? What Hugh has created now with the Gator Guard is a little bit, it's separating itself from the Gator Collective, but it's obviously the same entity, but it's going after more of a business-like mentality, right? More people like Hugh himself. So probably bigger investments, maybe not as many people, but more not quantity but quality, right? More $3 million investments. He's also made a $12.6 million pledge to the Gator booster as well. So this guy obviously has a little bit of cheddar to throw around. So we'll see what happens. But this is huge for Florida. I think it's great that they're getting this started. A lot of schools are starting to do this. Florida State has their own as well. Correct, Steve?
Yeah, correct. They have the Rising Spear, which is essentially it's outside the boosters. It's specifically dedicated to just giving money into what the NIL is and making sure that the student athletes have the wherewithal to want to stay with us versus going somewhere else. It's not part of the booster contribution. It's specifically for the student athletes in football. And I said this to you off cast. I've been a booster for a long time, many years, and I've always wondered kind of where my money went. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you this, and you give me like ticket priority and all these things, but I never really knew where the money went. So now with the FSU, the Rising Spear, it's specifically dedicated to football and the NIL and how it's developing, living within the new college football world.
So what? And Money made a good point is that the Florida should reach out to Gatorade. I think these teams need to like what he's saying is build more relationships with brands. I know Barstool has their own athletes. I don't know if Barstool is trying to act as their own entity, but if I'm Florida, it's like, look, I'm going to go to Barstool, be like, hey, we'll make you our guy. Like you're a Barstool athlete, you're coming to Florida. Right now, does that benefit Barstool? I don't know, because right now they can go after any kid, and you're a Barstool athlete at ASU, at Florida, whatever. But if you could have that connection where it goes hand to hand, kind of like Jordan. I mean, you can still do the same because you have Jordan in Florida. You have Nike, right? They have these brands that connect with the school. Barstool should try to connect that relationship, right? Gatorade should make that relationship like, hey, we're gonna make you a Gatorade athlete, right? The Gatorade college athlete. Wheaties. Now, I don't know if they're trying that already, but that's where I think the money's going to be, is how do I get these kids sponsorships? Not just hand them money, but how do we get them to look, if I'm college, right? If I'm Florida, it's like, look, we can give these kids money. Cool. Everybody can give them money. But how do we maximize their income? Right? Hey, I'll give you $100,000, but I'm also going to put you on the cover of or on the bottle of this next Gatorade brand for 3 months. And whatever it sells, you get, a percentage of that, of whatever that sells. However those brands work, I don't know, right? But if I'm Florida, that's what I'm trying to do, is make more connections with other brands to sell. That's what I'm giving you, right, to these kids. Hey, a shoe brand, right? It may not, that's not be Nike or Jordan or anything like that, but that's how it's going to build. That's where these kids want to go. They want to see themselves out there. That's what's going to separate themselves. If I just crack the code, Florida, give me a call. I'm free.
But and that's the issue with the NIL, right? And this is why I've just never liked it. And you and I have talked about it. It's just going to end up being a free agency of players, right? So a school like where Billy came from, right? The Louisiana Monroe, was it Louisiana Monroe?
Who?
Billy.
Raging Cajuns.
He came from Raging Cajuns, right? So, but I mean, there's no chance that they can give a kid the opportunity to even put his face on things, right? They just can't. There's no chance. But
wait, hold on. Say that again.
So for somebody like a smaller school, let's just say Boise State. Boise State's been around for a while. You take somebody like Memphis, somebody who's won a bowl game at a higher level recently. They're not on the same level as some of the other Power 5 schools, but here's where this whole thing becomes a little bit of a problem, is because Alabama has the alumni, Florida has the alumni, FSU kind of has the alumni, Georgia. But Memphis can't keep up. UCF can't keep up. They don't have the alumni to have the brand recognition correlation to some of the opportunities that some of these other schools have. So what are you going to do if there's a massive, car dealership in Texas, in Austin, that wants to give a kid,
It's another great example.
A $2 million contract to be the new face of their car dealership. Well, Memphis can't keep up with that. They don't. No,
so that's where I disagree. I think that's where I disagree. I think the money part of it, the boosters, yes, creating relationships with a dealership in Memphis, they can still do that, no matter how big they are, right? That's
oil money. You're going to keep up with oil money.
Well, look, they can if they go create a relationship with somebody else in Memphis who has us, hey, look, we're going to make you the kid of Memphis. Look, Memphis, the NIL isn't going to. It was never meant to bring Memphis in part of this. They're not the schools where there are. They're going to stay where there are. It's just going to level things up a little bit. But what I will say is like a Chick-fil-A, right? Like Georgia should be like be connected with Chick-fil-A. And then you have a Chick-fil-A athlete, and that kid gets to go and be on the Chick-fil-A commercials. I think
great. So then what is the kid who wants to play for South Carolina? What's their correlation just because they're not in a city that has...
I don't know, Steve. That's where the schools have to come into play and get their shit together. Go get McDonald's. Florida can go get Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying Chick-fil-A for Georgia because like all the Georgia, like if you go to a Braves game, there's Chick-fil-A in the stadium. I'm just using correlation. But that's the school's got to move
from Atlanta.
The school's got to move quickly. Go make a relationship. Just because it's in Georgia doesn't mean you can't knock on the door. I'm just letting you know if I am Georgia, you have an easier connection. The same way with Florida and Gatorade. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, Florida doesn't own Gatorade though. Quaker Oats does.
Florida is the inventor and the creator of Gatorade. Okay.
They sold the rights away for.
Just because Florida State hasn't invented anything, all right, don't get your panties in a twat, all right? Relax.
You mean FSU Firewater, which you stole?
What the hell is that?
FSU Firewater was what Gatorade was. You stole it, you patented it.
So, okay, you're just supporting my argument even more. We went out there and did it better than you did. So, if South Carolina wanted a Chick-fil-A, they would go out there and do it better than them.
But they're not headquartered in fucking South Carolina.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter where you're headquartered. The fact of the matter is making a deal. You make a deal. You have a conversation with somebody.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're saying that
South Carolina is close enough to Georgia to where it's correlated.
Hold on. So the North Carolina Triangle, North Carolina, Raleigh, Duke, they should have the biggest pharmaceutical relationships for college football. And that would be bigger than just about anything aside from big tech, right?
I don't know what that means. Is there a lot of pharmaceutical things out there?
That's all it is.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'm not. No, you're not helping me. It doesn't matter where you're located.
The Pfizer,
South Carolina would work with Chick-fil-A. Now, if USC wouldn't got Chick-fil-A, would that be great? No, because it's not correlated. But the other schools around.
That's In-N-Out Burger. Like, my gosh.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Now you're using your little noggin. Brian Carter said, I love the show. I get a geographical lesson as well sometimes. My mind is just like, okay, let me look at the map in my head. Where are we at with this? Where we going with this? So look, Muddy just said Memphis basketball is actually pulling in great money from FedEx. My point exactly. Utilize your surroundings, Steve. You lost this one. You lost this one. Who cares? You lost this one, Steve.
Speaking of losing things, do you want to bring up how badly I lost something this weekend? Are we gonna talk about like
golf? We already did that. You forget already?
No, I did not forget. I'm really hurt.
You forgot. Really you're not. You suck. You suck.
It's on my list. I can't.
We already did it. All right, guys. We're gonna do something really fun here. We're gonna get a little dicey here. We're gonna do the NFL mock draft. To be honest with you, look, it's no secret. We've talked about it. You've talked about it. You've heard it. It is probably the least exciting draft that it's been in a long time. Simply because there isn't the big name guys. I think, like nobody's excited to watch Trayvon Walker next year. Like you're not gonna be tuning in to watch a lineman, right? Like that's what it is. Like, cause look, Joey Bosa, the Nick Bosas of the world, they're fun to watch now, and they were great coming out, right? And I remember when Joey Bosa signed, or Nick Bosa when he signed, it was kind of a big deal. But you weren't like tuning in to watch the Chargers to watch Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa, excuse me.
No.
And you're not tuning in to the Niners to watch Nick Bosa. Now, when you see it, oh shit, there's Bosa. Like that's pretty tight, right? Like you're like, oh great, like Bosa's on this team. Khalil Mack plays for the Bears. Nah, okay, that's not fast. I tune in to watch Khalil Mack because that guy's a beast. That guy's a beast. So we're gonna do our best at the mock draft. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm nervous because I haven't really looked at it that much. I put together a few people's mock drafts and I kind of made my own here. But really quick, hold on.
Where the hell did he go?
Steve and I got this trophy a while back. Back when we were still BDE, we weren't. just put that right there. Back before we were high top, and so it's called BDE Pick'ems, and it says fantasy football, but that's just because we're the trophies. Look at this thing. This is like a 3-foot trophy, 3.5-foot trophy, and it's 1-1 right now. We did like some like kind of challenges back in the day, and we started doing this live thing. We got away from this. We want to get back to it because it's an absolute blast, especially with our crew that we have going on. They're gonna enjoy the hell out of this because this is gonna be great. So whoever wins the mock draft, whoever gets the mock draft the closest right, is gonna get another plaque. Right? It says Holly Blondie, another plaque here, and we're gonna keep this going. Right now, I have it at my house because I won. If he wins, it goes to his house. But we're gonna spice it up. The loser has to do something as well. Typically, we don't do this, but we're going to spice it up here. I'm going to share my screen with you on what we're going to do for the loser. Okay, give me 1 second while I share my screen. There we go. Let me pull it up here so it's not behind there. Okay, there we go. You guys see this little spin the wheel here? All right. So it has dress, fan gear, bra, and makeup. And then it's on there twice. Okay. So, if we're going to spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, that's what the loser has to do. If it's a dress, the loser has to put on a dress and go into some kind of store, convenience store, gas station, Walgreens, etc., and buy something. Now, the rule is you can't laugh. You have to be dead serious. You have to own your stuff. You have to strut it, okay? We're going to try to record it as best we can without it kind of looking obvious and buy something, probably like a feminine product, and then come out. Okay. The next one is fan gear. This one is probably the easiest one out of all of them. The loser has to wear the opposing team gear. So obviously, if I win, Steve has to wear Gator gear, which is hilarious because he's already every week he talks about the Gators. So it's like he's constantly losing anyways. If I lose, I have to wear an FSU shirt. Okay, or jersey for one episode. The next one is a bra. The loser has to wear just a bra, no shirt or anything, just a bra, for an entire episode, okay? The next being, I'm getting nervous as I'm reading these things. The next being makeup, okay? The loser has to have makeup put on his face by his significant other, and I'm talking about good makeup where you can see it, like eyeshadow, lashes, lipstick, a little bit of blush, a little bit of blemish, whatever we got to do. It's got to be good, like no half-ass shit. All right.
No, instead of having somebody on the cast to start, that'll be how we start the cast. Is our respective.
We'll do the makeup. Makeup takes a while though. It takes a while, so it has to just start.
Not when it's gonna look sloppy. They just throw that thing on you. They don't care.
Okay. Brian says, "Fuck, I want to play this game. I'm jelly right now. I don't think you want to play this game. All right, I'm gonna spin the wheel." And whatever happens, happens. So we're only doing the first. I'm so fucking nervous. We're only doing the first 15 picks. Okay. So whoever gets the most right out of the first 15 picks. If there's a tiebreaker, what do? We just call it a wash. We'll move on.
I would say that we just go to the.
No. If there's a tie, whoever had whoever had the first one right. Like it goes. You know what I mean?
The latest one right.
Now, I would say the highest. Okay, the latest one, you're right, because that's harder. Okay,
that's harder. Yeah,
starting from the top up or the bottom up, like if we got both 15 right, we keep going until whoever got that right. All right, got it. We're on the same page. All right, here we go. Spin the wheel. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, it's makeup. Okay, honestly, here we go. It's makeup. I don't hate that one. I was stressing about the bra. The fan gear wouldn't have been because wearing a bra for an hour, bro, like that's embarrassing. The fan gear would have been boring. The dress would have been a blast. And what was the other one? That was all of them. We got the other one. Yeah. All right, there it is. It's going to be makeup, Steve. So next Wednesday, somebody is going to be coked in makeup. Look, we got double likes for that. Everybody's all in. They're like, all right, this is the show now. We're dialed in. That's what they needed. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the draft. We've got this little board here. It's actually pretty cool. Steve found this. I'll give Steve a shout out.
That was suspenseful.
that was a little intense there. That was a little intense. All right, Steve. Oh my, I'm freaking out. I don't want to mess up.
This is so bad. All right, so you're doing yours. I'm doing mine.
I'm gonna cover your face, Steve. Sorry.
It's they're I'm sure they're thankful.
All right, Steve, you're gonna go first. We can't see Steve's pick right now, guys, but we'll let you know who wins.
Yeah, I'll save it. It's all good. The Jaguars with the first pick, they need an edge rusher. Let's just be honest. They're gonna go with Aiden.
Is that who you're taking? I'm taking Aiden too. I'm taking. Should I do Trayvon just to kind of spice it up?
Oh, see, I was worried. I was worried about that. I'm not going to talk you out of it.
Because this would kind of suck if we pick the same thing. I mean, it's obviously only the first one.
It's early. It's early.
So all right, I'm picking Trayvon. All right, I'll go next. Since you just went.
Yep.
Hold on. I have my little thing here. My next pick is going to be Thibodeau for the Lions.
See, look, I love that guy. He was recruited by FSU. He went to Oregon at the last minute. I've watched Kayvon Thibodeau for a long time. I love that pick.
It's Thibodeau.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not
Thibodeau.
French. Is it Canadian? Is it French?
It's Thibodeau.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just don't think that's where the Giants go, though.
It's the Lions. And can you hurry up? You're on the clock.
My gosh. I'll go Trayvon.
Wow. Okay. All right. Oh, dang it. Oh, freaking out. All right. You're up. Go ahead.
My gosh. What don't the Texans need? They've already had an edge rusher a couple of times in Clowney and I don't know, the beast that was from Wisconsin. I like this kid from Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Ahmad Gardner.
Really? That high, huh?
Yeah, I think they need somebody to replace some of the talent they've lost on the back end.
Look, honestly,
they don't have anybody. Like
I can't talk shit, so I just have him a little bit lower. All right, so for my Texans pick, I'm picking Akeem Aquana from NC State. Aquana from offensive tackle. That's my pick. And then for the Jets, I think I got to go with Ahmad Gardner from Cincinnati.
Okay.
I still have Trayvon Walker on the board. This is stressing me out, bro.
All right. Well, then for the Jets.
Wait, do you still have Aiden Hutchinson on the board?
No, he was my first pick.
Oh, Trayvon went second. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so you still have Thibodeau on the board. Okay.
Yeah, I have Thibodeau and I have Evan Neal right now. And I think right now, my gosh, that's another team that just needs so many things. I'm going to go Evan Neal for the Jets.
Okay. This sucks. I'm so freaking out.
It's
bro.
so weird.
Like there's just so
I'm gonna hate that pick. They're gonna take Kayvon, but I have a plan for the Jets down the road. So
all right, go ahead. You're up again with the Giants.
Well then, so I have Akeem Akawunu, offensive tackle for the Giants.
Muddy said, "Showing you're wearing makeup. Don't forget the eyeliner." Hey, easy, okay? Got this.
Muddy, my man, baby, what's up?
I'm gonna be so invested into the draft more than I ever have.
All of a sudden,
pick somebody, Steven.
I already did. I took
for the Giants.
The offensive tackle.
Who? Oh, OT. Okay. I'm taking Evan Neal.
For who?
For the Giants.
Okay. And then you have the Panthers up.
I know. And
if it goes down like this, the Panthers are in deep shit.
So I'm taking for them because they need an offensive tackle. I think they're gonna go and get because I know Pickett, the quarterback, is high for them, but I'm thinking they're gonna go and get our boy from San Francisco, Jimmy G. I think they need to go get Charlie Cross and then trade for Jimmy G. So that's gonna be my call. So I'm picking Cross.
All right, Charles Cross. All right.
I am. This is a blunder.
I'm with you on this.
I go again, right?
Yeah. For the Falcons.
No, I have the Giants again.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
All right, so I think I might be a little late on this. Now hold on. Let's do this. This hypothetical here, because the Giants have 2 picks back to back. What happens if Trayvon goes in the 5th round and Evan Neal goes in the 7th round? Do I lose that, even though I got the team right?
No.
You'll give me the points.
No, it's the we're guessing the first 15. Like, stop trying to.
I have to ask.
No, because you're trying to look for ways out for wear and makeup.
No, I think my play is right, because if Evan Neal wouldn't be there if Trayvon went, because the Panthers would take him. So I think this is the play. God forbid the Jags don't take Trayvon. If they take Trayvon, this is a complete disaster.
Yeah, I think what it boils down to is the number 3 pick with the Texans. Because you just don't know where they're at right now with things. It's just up in the air. And if they end up going edge rusher, the whole domino.
Bro, they're roasting me. Apparently, I'm way off. I told you guys, this is not my thing. All right, like I know football, but this draft has me for a tizzle, and I haven't paid much attention to it because it hasn't really been exciting. Okay, Steve, no need to kick your stuff. All right, you're up, Steve. Falcons.
All right, so no, I've got the Panthers. I haven't picked the Panthers yet. I'm gonna go.
Oh, we messed up. I should have waited for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I am gonna go Charles Cross.
Okay, copycat. All right, now the Giants. You're gonna go Giants and then Falcons because I went 2 in a row.
Yeah, and now I'll go Kayvon Thibodeau for the Giants.
Wow, that's huge. Okay.
It feels like that's kind of fallen into place. If Kayvon's available for the Giants at 7, there's no chance they don't take him. An offensive tackle and the edge rusher they want.
All right, go ahead.
So for the Falcons, my gosh, they have just lost so much wide receiver talent that I think they may stretch. They may reach here. I think they do. I think they go after a wide receiver.
Who though?
Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State.
So I'm between. Okay, that's who you're taking.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Okay, I'm between Garrett Wilson and Jameis Williams. I'm gonna take Jameis Williams only because with the Calvin Ridley situation, look, the Julio, they like the Bama wide receivers. As I'm saying, even better. I almost picked Jermaine Johnson. Whoop. That's what I'm taking. You're up again. You're up first again because I went first for Trayvon. So you're back-to-back picks.
Oh, gosh, Seattle. I mean, they basically just hit the reset button. They don't know what the hell they need at all.
Yeah.
There's not a quarterback up there that matters. Gosh, this is going to be the biggest reach ever. But they've lost Sherman. They lost Earl Thomas. Stingley's up there. This is difficult. I'm going to go with Derek Stingley out of LSU.
Okay.
And that puts me at 10 for the Jets. So you got to catch up.
Yep, I'm going to go 9-10. I'm between Derek and Jermaine Johnson here. I almost feel like I need a safety net. Or I'm so far back that I had to pick somebody. Oh, Jesus. Let's get some music going.
Hit it. Oh, there we go.
Jermaine Johnson. I like the pick there. It has edge ranked higher than a cornerback, but they're a cornerback heavy type of, like they've always been a cornerback kind. I'm going to go Devin. I'm going to go Derek, We'll go Derek. And then the Jets need an OT and edge. This is where Jermaine Johnson has it.
He's in the data, people. He's making this serious.
Or they take who's their quarterback? Maybe they go Garrett Wilson. But they need an edge. Jermaine Johnson's dead. They got to take Jermaine. I think they got to go Jermaine. Golly, I'm just blustering this thing. All right, go ahead. You're up, Tater.
All right, so I have the Jets at 10.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is what I was saying earlier: is that if Kayvon ends up in New York for the Giants, that Jermaine Johnson absolutely ends up at the Jets. So I'm going to take Jermaine Johnson at 10 as the edge rusher for the New York Jets. And my gosh, the Washington yellow team, I don't want to call them anything people are going to get all worked up about. My gosh. The best corners off the board, the two best corners are off the board. They do need a wide receiver. They've actually gone out and tried to invest into their offense. I'm going to go with Jamison Williams from Alabama.
Look, I think this is what's hurting me because Garrett Wilson has off on a lot of people's boards. They have him going at 8, which is where I put Jamison Williams. So this is where, look, if I'm right, this is where Garrett Wilson's going to go. They have Drake London going there, but that's obviously projecting if Jameis doesn't go as high as he does. So I kind of went on a stretch there and picked Jameis Williams. I think that guy's good. One thing that scares me is his injury. You went first, right?
I did.
So it's me.
Yeah, Jermaine and Jamison. Yeah, you're up with the Vikings at 12.
All right, I think they're going to go Kyle Hamilton? What do you think? Yeah, we'll send it.
Is that it? Is that your pick?
Yeah. So this my projection thing has the okay, right now I'm pretty sure it's the Steelers, but people are assuming that the Houston's trading for that pick.
Yeah, so we can't account for trades. Like we could, but there's just so much in that. Like there's even talk about the Saints and Seattle trading their picks back for the Saints to get back ahead. It's just that's too much to factor in. It's all going to boil down to the number of picks, and then whoever gets the latest pick.
Well, so hold on. Okay, so let's say because based on what I think, just how I'm predicting my thing, I don't think the Texans trade their pick.
No, I don't think so either. I think the Jaguars might trade their pick, to be honest.
No, but Houston wouldn't be here. Hold on, pick your Vikings pick first. Go. Oops.
I'll go Jordan Davis.
Okay, for
Georgia.
Oh, Jesus. What am I doing, Walker? All right, so I'm gonna pick a quarterback here. I'm picking Malik Willis, but that is me assuming that the Steelers stay there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because right now they're predicting that the Steelers are going to trade their pick to the Houston Texans, but I don't think the Texans trade up because they're not going to need to, because who they want's all going to be gone. So
we got to pick by what we know.
So I'm just going to put Malik. I'm saying Malik is going to go 13th. So if I'm wrong, then it doesn't really matter. But that's what I'm saying goes there. It doesn't really.
But you don't get credit for it either. You don't get credit for it if the Texans move out of the spot and he's still the pick. Like who are the Texans going to pick?
No, that's not fair. Because I'm picking on what's going to be picked right there. Because right now, this thing, the Steelers have the 13th pick. This is assuming that they're going to trade that pick. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I get. Well, hold on. I get that.
Yes,
but
the Houston Texans do not have the 13th pick. The Steelers do. But this chart that we're using has it predicted already for us. It's assuming like it's a shoe-in. So yes, I see what you're saying with the team. Well, no, we're still picking the person that goes there. It's the order of the person that gets picked, not necessarily the team. Because look, all of our guys could trade, but the person could still go first, regardless of who traded. Look, we made our picks based off that, but I'm letting you know I'm picking Malik Willis.
All right, do it. Out of Liberty. My gosh.
Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back. I'm taking Kenny Pickett. Can I take it back?
Why?
Because Kenny Pickett would still be on the board.
With the tiny hands? We need the comments. People, the man made us. This is almost like the Vikings not picking at all. Like
I don't think I go back. I've hit a blunt. If Kenny Pickett goes there, I'm gonna be hot. Honestly, I think I've made this thing so bad it doesn't even matter. Go, Steve. We got two more.
My gosh. All right, let's go. My gosh. You know what? I'll take Malik.
At the same place?
Yeah. Only because like the Kenny Pickett thing with his hands, like I don't know, like the people seem to think that that's a weird thing. And look, if you're gonna get hit from the backside and you have tiny little hands, then yeah. See, thank you, tiny hands. You're gonna fumble that ball more often than not. All right. So, am I up for the Ravens?
Yeah.
Man, there's no real cornerbacks left. I'll take Kyle Hamilton here. Yeah, out of Notre Dame.
Who's that? Oh, I already picked him.
Yeah, you took him off yours.
I'm taking George Clough. Yeah. And you're up first again.
Ugh. Eesh. All right, I'll do Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. That's my top 15.
That's who I'm picking too. All right, so it's going to go, if we tie, it's going to go haywire on the 14th pick. That's going to be the make or break
it. That's it.
All right, that's it. That is, let's see. Wrecked tiny hands. Come on, bro. Daniel Guerrero, you made your pick. Jeez, guys. Whatever, it is what it is. My pick, I said what I said. Hey, guys, real quick. Miami Heat, they're on a little roll, okay? Everyone's been talking some smack, saying they ain't ready. They ain't about it. They're like this weak number 1 seed. Just want you to know the third string beat the Hawks last night, all right? So put that in your pipe and smoke it, young whippersnappers, okay? We'll see. We'll see in the NBA Finals. Hey, I told you I picked him in November. That's my squad. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute show. Thank you. Muddy's picking you. He says you're going to wear makeup like Kiss.
Oh, baby, let's go.
Next Wednesday, tune in to see who's wearing makeup. It's going to be Steve, going to be me. Who's it going to be? Looks like Steve, you might have got the W here. I kind of went a little bit of killed Trae Young. Trae Young is trash, okay? The guy's washed up. He's 4'7" on a good day, all right? Cut your hair, Trae. Go to the gym. Get better, all right? Anyways, guys, thanks again for Dave's Freshly Used, a.k.a. Josh, for stopping by. Absolute banger of a show. What a long one today. You guys were great sports for being here this late. We appreciate you as always. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn the notification bells on because we go live every Wednesday at 8:35. Steve?
Shelton, my man. It's good to see you again, baby. We love all you guys. Thank you very much for being here. It's been a banger. We'll do another one on Wednesday. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Go Gators. See you next week. Boogity boogity.